Good evening. Tonight we're going to be talking about sounds all around us. You're going to find that sounds are amazingly like light, except instead of seeing them, you'll be able to hear them. So, let's begin. What do you need to do tonight? Tonight you need to complete all your Instagrams in your science vocabulary folder. Write down all the essential questions and answers in your science interactive notebook. You don't need to do your flashcards tonight. We'll do those in class tomorrow. Let's start by looking at the essential questions for tonight. First, what causes sound and how do we hear them? Number 2, what affects how things sound? And number 3, how can sounds be different? Let's start by exploring our vocabulary. Our first word is vibration. Vibrations are the most important part of sound. It's what causes sounds. It's the back and forth motion of an object. Our next word is echo. Echo is merely repetition of a sound produced by the reflection of a sound wave from a surface. This is a lot like light reflecting off of a mirror. The difference is, instead of seeing it and coming back to your eyes, the sound is coming back and you can hear it. Our next word is pitch. Pitch is the highness or lowness of the sound. Please don't confuse this with volume. Volume is how loud or how soft something is. Okay? As you can see with the lower pitch, the sound waves are further apart than they are with the higher pitch. High pitch, the sound waves hit you quicker. Our next word is wavelength. Wavelength is the distance from the top of one sound wave to the top of the next sound wave. It could also talk about the bottom because sound waves are always the same length. Now let's look at frequency. Frequency is the number of waves that pass a point at a given time. In case you haven't guessed, we're going to be talking a lot about sound waves and how waves move and how fast they move. So that brings us to our next word, sound waves. Sound wave is a vibration caused by a moving object that passes through matter and can be heard. I know that sounds complicated, but it's just like light. Light wave moves and you see sound moves out from the point, which in this case is the voice. It moves out that way in different waves. The height and the length of the waves determine what you actually hear. Alright, now let's look at our essential questions. First, what causes sound and how do we hear them? As I said earlier, sounds are vibrating. So a vibrating object produces sound waves. These waves travel through matter to our ears. Just as much like light waves travel and we see them with our eyes, sound waves travel in about the same way. A little bit of difference, we'll talk about that in class. 2, what affects how things sound? First of all, water and different materials affect the way things sound. Sound waves, like light waves, can either bounce off or reflect from an object or be absorbed by an object, and that affects how you'll hear a different sound. Number 3, how can sound be different? All sounds have measurable difference such as pitch and loudness, as we discussed earlier. Alright, that takes care of our essential questions and vocabulary words. So before class tomorrow, you need to complete your Instagrams. That includes the word, definition, hashtag, sentence using the word, and a picture. We will finish our flashcards in class tomorrow. Make sure you have the essential questions and answers in your notebook. Well, we'll hear you in class tomorrow. Good night.